So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of our season 4 here on F1 Manager 23. Now this is going to be the most exciting season that we have ever made on the channel, and I'm so excited to bring it to you. And of course we are going to kick off with what's happened in the off season. As you can see, we have stayed at Andretti Cadillac, but there are big changes this season. All the teams are still the same, but it must be said the driver roster is certainly different. Let's have a look and get into it from this lovely email which collates it all for us. Red Bull have kept Max Verstappen and George Russell. Ferrari have got Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. He's going there for in real life next season. He's at Ferrari on this save now alongside Charles Leclerc. Andretti Cadillac, we have kept Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly. And Mercedes, Valtteri Bottas was doing wonders in the Audi car. They've got a very strong driver lineup of Valtteri Bottas back there and Alexander Albon. We move on further down to a new look Aston Martin powered by Honda. They have got Yuki Tsunoda, the Honda link, of course, with Yuki Tsunoda, and Esteban Ocon dropped away from Mercedes into the Aston Martin seat. Audi, the car that was very looking good towards the end of last season, looking very strong indeed. Carlos Sainz joins Mick Schumacher at Audi. And then as we go further down, Williams going for a youthful driver lineup in terms of Liam Lawson and Zhou Guanyu. And Haas, Alfa Romeo start with Théo Pourchaire and Daniel Ricciardo. Even further down, we go for McLaren, who have got Checo Perez and Oscar Piastri. And Hugo Boss have brought in two very experienced drivers, Nico Hülkenberg and Kimi Raikkonen, out of retirement to try and turn the fortunes of Hugo Boss around. But it must be said, it's not just the drivers that have changed. Of course, there's been a lot of development in the off-season. We did a lot of research before the end of last season, and it has paid off. Let's have a look at the car analysis, because if we have a look at our rank on the grid, you can see we are now top of the top speed. We are the fastest car in a straight line. High speed cornering was our very much our strength last season, and we have doubled down on that to now get the straight line speed as well. Low speed cornering is still something we're not particularly good at. I'm not convinced we're going to win Monaco this year, but we have really gone in on race performance, possibly neglecting some of the cooling options, which we possibly, this may cost us of course, but in terms of raw speed, our Andretti Cadillac is very competitive. And we're also now powered by a new Andretti Cadillac engine. I've tweaked that slightly on the editor to bring us more in line with the Mercedes and the Ferrari engine rather than the Renault being miles behind. But as you can see, we are not overpowered on the powertrain. You can see still only 5th for power, wear resistance not too good, so the engine, although better, is still not the best on the grid. But we do have a very competitive car for the season opener, of course, at Bahrain. 57 laps around here. In terms of the expected strategy, it is a 2-stop, soft, medium. The hard is not optimal around here. And car attributes, look at that. Top speed is absolutely crucial. And I reckon we are going to be very competitive this season. Let me know what your predictions are down in the comments. I'm going to get through practice, and I'll see you in qualifying for the season opener in Bahrain. I think this could possibly be the most competitive season of F1 Manager we've ever seen, because there is less than a second separating the top 10. It has been so close all day. Lando Norris is currently in P2 behind the McLaren of Oscar Piastri. Can Lando Norris possibly go on pole position? Pierre Gasly as well in P4 at the moment, looking to improve. Are we going to manage to get on the front row? Are we going to manage to get pole position? Lando Norris was yellow through the second sector. Is he going to manage to put it on pole position? Verstappen goes top by a 10th. Lando Norris up to the line, doesn't improve by enough. Pierre Gasly down in P7 at the moment. Is he going to manage to put himself on the front row? The McLaren's looking incredibly quick so far this weekend. What can Pierre Gasly do? Pierre Gasly crosses the line, doesn't improve by enough. It must be said, that is so close. And I mean, I will show you as well the Q2 times, because they were so close. Let's have a look at this. So in Q2, 130.6 for Verstappen. We go all the way down to 131.5. There's less than a second separating the top 15. It's ridiculous. We had some superb performances. Perez and Piastri, how bad were McLaren last season? And now they are starting on the second row tomorrow. Let's get to the strategy. Right then, guys, so first strategy briefing of the season. It's P5 for Lando, P7 for Pierre Gasly. We're both going to start on the soft compound tyre. We did have a safety car last season, which is making me think if we get a safety car around here, at least then we can swap to the mediums and go to the end. So that's the plan. P5, P7. Let's get this season underway.
Here in Sakir, the floodlights are on, and it's nearly time for 57 laps around the Bahrain International Circuit. This race should be a good chance to see what Valtteri Bottas can manage.
To get back from P9 up towards the front, it's going to be a case of executing their strategy well and keeping it clean.
So let's see what today has in store, shall we? Here we go with the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out. And away we go.
And away we go. And we got a lovely shot of the new Mercedes livery. Of course, I will show you all of those during the race. The new liveries we've got that can all be seen on Race Department. But as we can see, it is Russell leading from Verstappen into turn one. Verstappen on the medium compounder tyre. Perez in P3. Lando Norris has got Piastri. And it must be said, he's now looking at the back of Checo Perez. Lando Norris starting very strong. Piastri in P5. Gasly in P6. And then he's got Albon in the Mercedes behind him. Let's have a little look at this livery then. So this is a black Mercedes livery, Vodafone livery. Doesn't that look so nice? Just to bring you a couple of the other liveries, the McLaren is now the Jack Daniels livery, which they used for Las Vegas last year. And the Aston Martin is a very different looking car. The Aston Martin powered by Honda. Power of dreams, power of Aston Martin now. And Yuki Tsunoda sporting that Aston Martin. The two Ferrari boys, Hamilton and Leclerc, down in 9th and 10th. Not looking good for these two guys so far. Porsche in P13, Lawson in the new look Williams, BWT Williams. Now Lawson in P15, Zhou in P17, and Hülkenberg and Raikkonen on his first race back after retirement in P19. But Lando Norris still P4. He joined his bike on lap 4, new fastest lap of the race for Lando Norris, who's now caught back up to Max Verstappen and Checo Perez. George Russell at the moment running away with it, and he's managed to break the DRS of Checo Perez. And that could be very crucial for George Russell at the moment. And we've also just seen Pierre Gasly managing to overtake Oscar Piastri. Lovely bit of work from Pierre Gasly. Rear wing wide open. And he's passed Oscar Piastri up into P5. But he's now dropped out of the DRS of his teammate. Might have to have a look at the undercut now. Pierre Gasly, but at the moment doing rather well. Lando just getting his tyres back into the temperature window. Lap 5, Lando Norris caught Max Verstappen, and these soft compound tyres are lasting rather well today, it must be said. And Lando Norris overtaking Max Verstappen up into P3. We can see Perez and Russell at the front, and you can also see that Pierre Gasly behind him is looking in a very strong position as well, because Pierre Gasly has dropped Oscar Piastri, and to be fair to Pierre, he's not that far off Max Verstappen. If he can bring himself back into play here, this could be absolutely crucial. But Lando Norris sat in P3, Russell leading with Perez and we've had this first spin of the season, and it is Yuki Tsunoda in the Aston Martin Honda. And it's got to be said, it wasn't a spin, it was just a bad bit of driving. And Yuki Tsunoda, who really needs a decent season here. Lance Stroll, of course, actually finally leaving the team. He's going to have to really put in some performances, Yuki Tsunoda, especially with Honda putting him in there. But P13 now for Tsunoda. Unlucky for some, he's got Carlos Sainz in the Audi behind him. Carlos Sainz moving to Audi after seeing the late season promise not quite manifesting itself so far this season. But early doors, still Perez leading from Russell. These two are having a right ding-dong battle at the front, as you can see. And Lando Norris trying to close the gap. Lap 8. Pierre Gasly has got Max Verstappen, and what a move this is. He's got the DRS, as we can see, down the start finish straight and round the outside. Verstappen gives him a little nudge, tries to squeeze him, but cannot stop the Gasman getting past. And more excitingly than that, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're thinking, how much more exciting can it get? Well, Lando Norris is now up with the leaders. We had a little bit of a push to get up with the leaders, and that's quite disappointing because Verstappen's just got straight past Gasly. As we can have a look at this now, Verstappen, those medium compounded tyres are going to be looking very strong in a moment. But Pierre Gasly sticking with Verstappen. This is not harming him at all. But what must be said is Lando Norris now up with the leading pack. 3.4 seconds gap to Verstappen. We are just getting our tyres back in the optimal window. This could work well for Lando. Zhou Guanyu is the next one to spin out, and I must say, I do like that Williams livery. Let me know what you think of the new liveries and which one you prefer. And he just decides to stop in the middle of the track. I mean, does Zhou Guanyu want a safety car there? But Zhou Guanyu, look at this. I mean, look at this guy on the right. Just, oh, he's rolling his eyes. He's disappointed. He don't want to be here. He don't want to be in Bahrain watching his driver. What he's worked so hard to get a car together for this season. And the Williams look very, very quick in qualifying. As you can see, we've dropped out of DRS again with Lando Norris. But Pierre Gasly's been conserving fuel for quite a while now behind Max Verstappen. He's just tagging onto the back of him lovely. But Lando Norris now looks like he's losing the battle to keep up with the top two. Lap 16, we come back again. Pierre Gasly's having a lovely time battling with Max Verstappen. This time he chose the inside route into turn 1, managing to get past the Red Bull driver. And then, of course, he had to defend down the next straight. Now, let's have a look if he's managed to do it. He certainly has, because he got DRS again. And Pierre Gasly's done rather well. He's now stopped conserving fuel because he doesn't need to. Lando Norris is agonisingly close to getting in the DRS of these cars in front. Agonisingly close. On lap 16, we will have a full rundown. It's Perez from Russell. Then comes Norris, Gasly, Verstappen, Piastri in P6, Hamilton on his Ferrari debut in P7, Leclerc in P8, Albon P9, and then Bottas in P10. Lando Norris finally has got DRS. My word, has he needed that. And now hopefully he can start looking after his fuel a little bit and maybe even topping up a little bit of ERS, because on lap 16 we are getting ready to pit in around 4 or 5 laps time. 23 seconds is the gap that you need to come out in front of the cars there, and it must be said at this moment in time he'd come out behind lots of traffic, and we're going to try to overcut that. This battle is just going on and on and on, and now Max Verstappen with the medium compounder tyres is really starting to look handy at this moment in time. Verstappen going around the outside. They've been doing it to each other all afternoon. Manages to get the job done into turn 1, and then of course gets that extra helping of DRS down the next straight. But it must be said, Lando Norris now is back in touch with the leading pack. He hasn't quite got the pace of these guys at the front. And as you can see straight away, as soon as he gets back in DRS, seems to lose it again. It's very, very frustrating for Lando at the moment, but we are going to give it all the beans now, because we are starting to see pit stops. Alexander Albon in for a set of fresh soft compound tyres. The two Williams double stacking. That's not exactly ideal for the Williams guys. But Lando Norris will be coming in very, very shortly. And at the moment, if he pit, he'd come out just in front of Carlos Sainz. We've had Liam Lawson locking up now. A few of the new drivers locking up today. Liam Lawson, the next one in that Williams, doesn't look like the easiest car to drive at this moment in time. And after the double stack, maybe just not got the tyres warmed up, and a bit of inexperience from Liam Lawson down in P19. We saw Perez and Verstappen into the pits. Verstappen onto the softs and Perez into the pits. Lando Norris stayed out. He's pushing hard at this moment in time, but he's going to be coming in this lap. Pierre Gasly will be coming in on the next lap, I believe. We've got a bit of options with Pierre Gasly because he's looked after his tyres so well. So we're just monitoring the situation, but we'll come back when Lando's into the pits. Change of plan. Pierre Gasly is into the pits. Lando Norris is staying out for one more lap because they've got caught in traffic, if we can see. Perez and Ricciardo, I'll bring you back to them in a minute. But Pierre Gasly coming into the pits for another set of soft compounder tyre. This could be absolutely crucial. Let's see if his pit stops have improved. 3.3 seconds, not the end of the world. The reason I didn't bring him in, because Perez, as you can see, is stuck in this battle with this gaggle of cars. So Lando Norris stopping out one lap longer might just pay dividends. We will tell him to push on the ERS now, but Pierre Gasly coming out behind Max Verstappen. He's in a lovely spot on circuit. It's Pierre Gasly. Norris in soon. And into the pits comes Lando Norris on lap 21. Pierre Gasly has come in. Must be said, we did stay out one lap longer than I actually wanted to with Lando Norris, but he's into the pits now. And he's going to come in for a set of fresh soft compound tyres. I fancy Lando to be very, very quick towards the end, but Pierre Gasly is doing his absolute utmost to try and catch up with the cars in front, pushing at this moment in time. He's going on to the mediums at the end, is Pierre Gasly, but Verstappen's just set the fastest lap now. Where is Lando Norris? We can see Russell and Verstappen in front. It might be time to try the undercut on the final stint, but at this moment in time now, Norris in P6, Gasly has actually jumped him. He'll not be happy with that. Lando Norris was not impressed at losing the position to Pierre Gasly. He's overtook him, and now he's overtook Charles Leclerc. He's back up into P4. To be fair, he has got the fresher tyres of the front lot at the moment. I reckon Lando Norris will catch up to the front guys again, and then we'll try the undercut onto the medium compounder tyre, but Lando Norris now up into P4, pushing on to see if he can get the front guys. Pierre Gasly currently just sat behind Charles Leclerc. He'll get past him very shortly. And then we'll go up towards the front, but we'll have a full rundown. It's Perez leading in the McLaren, Russell, then Verstappen, Norris in P4, Leclerc P5, then comes Gasly, Piastri down in P7, Hamilton in P8, then comes Bottas and Ocon, rounding off the points paying position so far, and at the back, poor old Hugo Boss, P19 and P20. Lando Norris is driving like a man possessed. He's got Max Verstappen, he's called to this front group, got them, and then managed to get past Max Verstappen. He's up into P3 now. He's got Perez and Russell in front of him. We've got a fresh set of medium compound tyre to go on to at the end. We will try the undercut, I believe, because I'm now conserving fuel. I'm even going to start topping up a little bit of ERS, because then towards the end, we should be absolute lightning. That's the plan at least. Pierre Gasly's got a bit of a different race. He's going to have to try and undercut to get himself back into this top 4 fight. But Lando Norris could definitely win the first race of the season today, lap 29. We bring you back on lap 34, and it must be said, both drivers now running very different races, but Lando Norris has managed to tag along with Checo Perez, and we are dropping the Red Bulls. We are going to make sure that we get the undercut right here, and I think we will come out in a nice bit of clean air as well. We get this right, Lando Norris wins this race. Pierre Gasly is just starting to try and catch up to the front four, but 8.6 seconds back. P5 is looking like the position he's going to finish in today, but don't count out Lando Norris, because at this moment in time, he's going to win this race. Remember the last comment, Lando Norris is going to win this race. Let me just show you what's just happened, because Lando Norris with DRS round the outside, and Perez just clips into him. I believe that's Checo Perez's fault, and Lando Norris certainly did on the pit wall. We haven't got damage to Lando Norris's car by the looks of things, but that has made a serious dent on his race aspirations. Pierre Gasly now in P4, and it would possibly make sense to get Lando Norris in a little while, but that is so disappointing. I'm waiting to see if we're going to have an investigation come up, but Lando Norris down to P5, and that has just ruined our race. And it is Lando Norris that is given the time penalty for causing a collision. We will maybe looking at it through Andretti tinted glasses. Let me know what you think down in the comments. But Lando Norris now has just lost himself a potential win of the opening Grand Prix of the season. Verstappen and Russell now leading. Gasly a little bit further back. Pierre Gasly and George Russell are in to the pits. Lando Norris, as we can see, just coming down the start-finish straight. He's got to come in and obviously serve that 5-second time penalty. But Pierre Gasly, we're going to get a good pit stop here for the Gazman. It's the medium compounder tyre. It's not the best, it's not the worst. 4.3 seconds. He's starting to fall to pieces a little bit at Andretti Cadillac so far, but Lando Norris will be in this lap. Lando Norris into the pits on lap 39, the same lap as Max Verstappen, onto a set of medium compounder tyres, when of course we've served this 5-second penalty, and this is going to hurt Lando Norris, because not only did he have to wait and did he cause that collision, and he was in a position to win the Grand Prix. I mean, he's still out in front of Lewis Hamilton, but now down in P10, the only sort of saving grace at this moment in time is he has got a full charge of battery and hopefully should get some points today. But Lando Norris in P12 now, 7.9 seconds, the total pit stop with the penalty charged as well. P12 got some work to do. Different teams, same problems for Esteban Ocon, and this is going to be made all the worse because they were double stacking for some reason, and it was a long pit stop for the Aston Martin boys. They'll be so disappointed with that. They probably thought they got enough for a gap to get them both in, but sadly didn't quite work. As things stand at this moment in time, Pierre Gasly is on the back of Théo Pourchaire. Bottas is yet to pit as well, so he's going to get up to P4 possibly here, Pierre Gasly. Lando Norris on the back of Piastri now. Piastri is on a new set of soft compound tyres, and Lando's doing everything he can to chase him down. Do you know, Pierre Gasly's a good driver, isn't he? He's now up into P5. He tried a sort of switcheroo, was going for the outside, then went to the inside, and Pierre Gasly now up into P5. Fantastic work from Pierre Gasly. Very impressed with that indeed. Gasly now up into P5. He's going to get Bottas as well. Bottas is still yet to pit. And that should be P4 for Pierre Gasly. Lando Norris, we're going to see overtaking Oscar Piastri as well. Let's have a little look at this. Lando Norris against his former teammate down the inside into turn 1. Didn't run into him this time. Lando Norris now up into P8. and there's still a couple of cars yet to pit as well. So Lando Norris doing okay at this moment in time. In front of him, he has got Porsche, who's yet to pit, and Bottas as well. Perez has possibly got to pit again, so not over yet. Just a quick one. Lewis Hamilton on the 44th lap on his debut for Ferrari has just got the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and we're going to watch Lando Norris now going past Teo Porsche. He's chasing down Leclerc and Piastri. Leclerc has actually got past Norris, but I fancy us to get past both of these by the end. Our tyres will be in much better nick than both of theirs. We're just going to lighten up a little bit, and Perez is actually coming into the pits now. Now, where is Checo Perez going to come out? And let me know down in the comments, has Checo Perez played an absolute blinder here going to McLaren, because they look incredibly quick? Oh, and this doesn't look ideal. They've got a wing change as Checo Perez. So Checo Perez is going to drop a few positions here, which is going to be music to Lando Norris's ears as Checo Perez comes out of the pit lane, down in P8 now at the moment. Hamilton and Bottas going at it. The two ex-teammates now, one in a Ferrari and one back at Mercedes. But yeah, Checo Perez down in P10, Norris into P6. He can actually see P4. And I don't mean to alarm anyone, Pierre Gasly is on the podium. Lap 45, it's Verstappen from Russell, Gasly, Leclerc, Piastri and Norris. Loving it. Daniel Ricciardo left Hugo Boss. That car was pretty much undrivable last year, and now he's gone to Alfa Romeo Haas, and he's just done this. He's locked up into the final turn. Didn't go careering into the barriers. He hasn't caused the safety car at Bahrain at this moment in time, but on lap 49, Gasly's got a nice 5-second gap towards Piastri, and Lando Norris is right on the bike. He could get P4 today, and P3 and P4 in the circumstances we would take all day long. Oh dear, Lewis Hamilton, because this has just happened, and this, I mean, if this happens in real life, my word, but Lewis Hamilton spinning out, and that is not a good look for the new Ferrari driver, spinning out from P8. It must be said, Perez has now joined this little gaggle of cars, and he has got the tyres to really attempt to get P4 here, but Lando Norris is now trying to push on and get at least one, if not two of these cars before the end. Pierre Gasly is comfortably on a podium today. We're just managing things now with tyre temperatures with Pierre, but it's all eyes on Lando to see if he can get P4. And what could be the most important overtake of Lando Norris's day has just happened, because Piastri had just dropped out of Charles Leclerc's DRS range and Lando Norris got him. We've been charging the battery up, and now Lando Norris has got a free run at Charles Leclerc, who is on soft compound tyres, and those soft compound tyres are dying lap by lap. Lando Norris now will be attacking the Ferrari for P4. And Lando Norris has got Charles Leclerc, and more importantly, while you're watching this, just have a look in the background. Piastri has been holding up Checo Perez, and that is absolutely criminal when Checo Perez has got the soft compound tyres to possibly get Lando Norris, but he's been held up that much. 3 laps to go. We are now dropping Leclerc at a rate of knots with Lando, and he's pushing on to secure P4. P3 and P4 for the Andrettis today. Not bad at all. We bring you back Kimi Raikkonen. We know how bad this Hugo Boss car is, and Kimi Raikkonen has just decided to do this, locking up, and he must be thinking, why didn't I just stay on the beach, or doing whatever Kimi Raikkonen likes to do. We are now just coming on to the final lap of the Grand Prix, and it's a familiar story. Max Verstappen is leading the race by 13 seconds, but it's got to be said, I reckon, and let me know what you think down in the comments, we can beat the Red Bulls this season. The Red Bulls still looking particularly strong, but I think we're the second quickest team at the moment, and we are certainly going to challenge these guys throughout. And if Lando Norris hadn't had his little smash, I think we could have been going a little bit further than that as well. But we'll just have a look now as we come on at Lando Norris. Where is he in terms of everything? He's just coming in to the final corner. But look at this little battle behind Charles Leclerc and the two McLarens, the Piastri and Perez. This is going to be a very, very interesting final lap of this Grand Prix. My word, Charles Leclerc just sauntering around at this moment in time. Let's just check where everyone is on the map. We are all on the final lap. Verstappen leading by a distance in the final sector, but Leclerc, Piastri and Leclerc, Piastri and Perez having a right go at it at the moment. We are going to watch Max Verstappen cross the line for the final time this race. But let's have a look what happens here. Piastri and Perez up against Charles Leclerc. It's Ferrari versus McLaren for P5 this battle is. Charles Leclerc defending very, very well indeed. Max Verstappen down at the final straight. He's going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix in the season opener. but it looks like Charles Leclerc has just done enough to hold off the two McLaren drivers, and what a race that has been from him. He's done it. Russell now comes home in P2, but let's watch this, because Pierre Gasly, the man who we were umming and ahhing whether we re-signed, but we have no doubts of this man's talent, comes home and gets a podium on the opening day of the new season. Lando Norris comes home in P4, and then it's a drag race to the line with Leclerc, Piastri and Perez, and that is a very, very decent weekend for Andretti Cadillac. Let's get to the podium.
What a masterclass drive from Pierre Gasly today.
This podium is something the whole team can be proud of. Excellent strategy and perfectly executed.
The team has been waiting patiently there, and you can see just how much it means to each and every one of them. The Frenchman was in sublime form today, fully deserving of his podium finish here.
That marks their first podium of the season too. A proud moment.
And it was a proud moment indeed. We can see Max Verstappen and George Russell, but my word, these Andretti Cadillac cars are not that far behind. Pierre Gasly gaining 4 positions on the day, Lando Norris gaining 1. Of course, Verstappen and Russell were P1 and P2. Leclerc, probably driver of the day, gaining 5 positions up into P5. Piastri and Perez P6 and 7. Bottas in P8. Hamilton P9 despite that spin. And Théo Pourchaire in P10. The Aston Martins didn't manage to score a point. Alex Albon dropped 8 positions on the day for Mercedes. And right at the back, the Hugo Boss, with all that experience, still can't get off the back of the grid. Driver standings wise, as you can probably guess, as is, Verstappen leading from Russell, Gasly and Norris. And constructors wise, Red Bull are number 1 and we are number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we have kicked off the new season in style. Please let me know what you think of the driver transfers, who's going to win what this season, and I shall see you on Thursday for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Please like and subscribe. Ta-ra.